This is Heath Code, and today we are coding for a straight move, make it turn, and then detect an object. So I'm here in the lobby of your Mindstorms. So as soon as you're here, the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to click right here to make a straight move, and you're going to go, it's going to bring you to a website. And so the website is right here, make a straight move. And it says this step can take up to 30 minutes. So in your head, when you come to class, know that it's going to take about 30 minutes to build the robot. This is the robot. So right here, it talks you through what if your school had a multi-purpose robot? How would you use it? Would you use it to clean the school or plant trees? So here's the build your driving base, and there is the link right here for the driving base, and it looks like this. So right here is the 46 pages of instructions. That's why it's going to take up to 30 minutes to build your driving base that looks like this. You can use this with your partner in the in-person class, or you can use the instruction book. All right, so let's go back to make a straight move. All right, down here, it shows the one block that you're going to code for make a straight move. And you can see that it is just simply a move steering block. So let's bring it over to your Mindstorm app right here. So let's go ahead and go to new program, and it's going to bring up a nice clean palette with just a start block there. In this last video that you watched, you learned about the action palette, the flow palette, and then the comment. So the big thing we need to know is that there are these are the motors right here. We have medium motor. You see where my mouse is? Then we have large motor. The large motor is what we use. We have two of them for our big tires. So you're going to be using the large motor blocks. Right here is the move steering. And you can see that the move steering shows that it's coding for two different motor blocks. And then finally, right here, you have move tank. Today, we're going to be using the steering. And just remember that this is a steering wheel, and that's why we're going to be using it. And it's called that. So right here, we have simply all the parameters are what they asked for in our make a straight move. So right here, this is saying that this is going to be going straight. The steering is going straight, so there's no number in there. This is a slide. You can also click with this right here, and it changes so you can actually put numbers in. Right here is the power. And again, it's just we're going for a power 50. When you're in with your EV3 and your partner, you can go ahead and change the power if you'd like. See what the different speeds are. And this right here, this is the rotations. Now you can click and have it go for the rotations, the number of times that the wheels go around, or right here, this number sign, do you see that these are the same symbols? We can change, and instead of that, we can have it go on for degrees or for seconds. So imagine the degrees are the number of times it goes around. So look right here, the degrees is 360 degrees. So 360 degrees is the degrees of a full circle. So this is just one full circle rotation. This is on for seconds. So these are all the different parameters that you can change for how your wheels turn. So again, we are just going to have it go on for one rotation, and we're going to keep it right there. But just know that that's the way that you can change it. And then he explained again on the video, this right here, we can make the break at the end, or we can have it coast. And honestly, every time I have ever done it, I've always just had it break. I haven't had a reason to have it coast yet. So you have now coded. We didn't have to do anything, but I did explain each of the different parameters that we can change. So now let's bring it to the next one, which is make it turn. So we're going to go ahead and minimize this. And right here is make it turn. So the make it turn is simply going to have your robot turn. And right here, it just says create a new program that turns the driving base, your robot, 180 degrees. So that's going to be just a half turn. And I want you and your partner to be able to play around with this to make sure that you feel comfortable with how the robot is going to turn, because we will be using that in our November class. We are going to be using all of these and putting it together with our really cool robots to be able to make it do different things. All right, so let's bring it back to our screen, and we're going to go to our flow palette and pull up another right here. We want them to act separately, so I'm not going to go ahead and put it on another one. I'm having a completely separate program. And then I'm going to go back over here and pull up another move steering block. This time with the move steering, we're going to change it, and we want it to turn, and it's going to be a left turn to 50 degrees. So negative 50 degrees. So that's going to go to a 50-degree turn. We're going to still keep it at the right here at the speed of 50, just for one rotation. All right, and that's all you have to do for code make it turn. And finally, our third one, hopefully there will be enough time in our class in October for you to be able to do this. If there is not, don't worry, we'll be able to put it all together in the November class. So this is just if you have enough extra time. We are going to go to detect an object. So this one is adding an ultrasonic sensor to your driving base. Now the ultrasonic is simply the eyes. Isn't this cute down here? It's just going to have the eyes to see an object. So it talks about building the cuboid. And here's the code for detect an object. And that's the end of it right there. So let's look at this code. And this is what I'm going to code for in Mindstorms. So let's bring our Mindstorms project back up. And again, we're going to bring up our third play right here. And then we're going to bring it over. We're going to bring up the move steering. It does sometimes change and move around quite easily. So let's try that one more time. Let's get that move steering. Now this time, we don't want to tell it to stop. We just want to simply tell it to go forward at the power of 50. But we're not going to tell it simply when to. We want it just to keep going until it detects that object. So we are just going to tell it to go on. So do you see now we only have those two different go forward for a power 50 until something happens. And here is the part that we get a code for, the next one. Okay, we are going to tell it when to stop. And we want it to, when it sees an object at 6 centimeters, we want it to stop. So we're going to go back over here to our flow palette. We're going to pull up the weight block, and the weight block is the piece where we really can change around a lot of different things. And then we're going to click right here to change it, to change a parameter. Okay, you see where my mouse is? So we're going to click, and we're going to find that ultrasonic, those eyeballs. Okay, so make sure you're not using the infrared because that's not what we're going to use. We're using the ultrasonic. and we want the ultrasonic to compare. Now on the code, you can see that it's comparing for a distance in centimeters, and it's telling you for 6 centimeters. Okay, so, and 6 centimeters is right there. We want it to go ahead, and then now we're going to change right down here. So we're going to change, we want it to actually, they show the number 5 underneath it. So the number 5 is right here. It's less than or equal to. So less than, so as soon as it sees it at 6, equal, or right there less than 6. So sometimes it does take a little bit of time for it to actually see it. And then we're going to have this. It's taking a while. Come on. Oh, good. It did change. And now we're going to click over here, and we're going to have it at 6 centimeters. All right. So make sure it says the less than or equal to and 6 centimeters. And then finally, we need to go ahead and tell it, once it sees it, what is the robot supposed to do? It is supposed to just simply stop. So here we're going to have this one more brick coding block. So, and right here, we're going to simply tell it to turn off. I'm going to try that one more time right here, off. So let's read through our code. So when we press play, we want it to go forward for the speed of 50. And then once it sees an object with the ultrasonic sensor at equal to or less than 6 centimeters, then we want it to completely stop. And we are done. So once you've done those 3 different coding right here, I'm pulling it back down, then you're done with your coding. Right now it says program 4. So now we need to go back and actually rename it. So I'm going to go back to the home button. And right here we have program 4. So if I click right here, it says edit program 4. And we know that it is moving straight, then turn and detect. Now when, oh, it's already been used since, okay, I'm just going to put DET. So we know that it's going to go, we have the 3 different programs. We have it go straight, we have it go, we're going to have it turn, and we're going to have it detect an object. And that right there is our coding. So, and that, when you have your partner, you're probably going to rename it with your initials and have whatever name that you want to, that it tells you what the coding is. Okay, so you can go ahead and upload and change around, because when you're at class, you're going to be doing a lot of different changing of your code to play around with it. All right, thank you for watching, and I will see you in person. All right, bye.